it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my 12 Days of Christmas series. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make these adorable little tea gifts. You can give them to coworkers, teachers, basically anyone that you need to give a quick gift to. These would also make a great idea for a craft fair. So if you're doing a holiday craft fair, you can wrap these up in some plastic and sell these because these are so adorable. So what this is it's an actual teapot, and it's made with cardstock and patterned paper, and it has tea as well as the granulated honey packets. So perfect little winter gift, and they just slide right in here just like that. Isn't that adorable? And this is made with a teapot folded from the Stamps of Life, and you can use any of your stamps, dies, sentiments to decorate these. So I am going to do a tutorial for one of them. The tutorial that I'm going to do is going to be this one, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what each one of these involves. And I will have a complete supply list down below so that you can look down there if you're interested in any specific one that I created. So this particular teapot, I used the Piece Collection pattern paper from the Stamps of Life, and that Piece Collection pattern paper actually has these pieces that you can actually fussy cut out of the cardstock. So it has this particular pattern paper, and I actually just cut that out. It also has paper that have these cute little snowmen, which I also fussy cut out, and I just added a little snowy border down here, and that paper is from the same paper pad, stamped a season's greeting sentiment on there. Isn't that adorable? And then I also have this one. This stamp set is actually from a stamp set that the Stamps of Life sold on HSN, and I will link that below. And I just colored it up with my Copic markers, stamped the sentiment on there. And then this one here, again, I have a sentiment. I did do some embossing. I have a stitch circle on this one, and I have a cute little reindeer from the Snow Globe to Stamp set that I colored and added to it. I was trying to go with colors that match these tea bags. So here you can see I have the green, here's a cream, the red, and then the blue. And these tea bags are the holiday assortment of the Twinnings tea. I did purchase them on Amazon, as well as these Be My Honey granulated honey packets, which I purchased on Amazon, and I will also link those below in case you are interested in doing something similar. This one I am going to walk you through a quick tutorial just to show you how I created this one, and that will give you an idea of how to create pretty much all of these using your beautiful pattern paper and your stamps and dies. Now really quick, this is one idea using the teapot. I want to show you another idea that I previously created on my YouTube channel with this teapot, and this is this adorable little mini album. And this could also be something that you might want to create for, in this case it was this is a mom album you can do for Mother's Day, but you can definitely do a Christmas themed one, or just give something like this to your mom on Christmas, or to anybody, any special person in your life. And this is just an album with the same die set. So I just wanted to show you how versatile this die set is, because I did make this mini album. You could also use this set to put on a card. This actually makes a card shaped like a teapot, but in this case, I'm using it as a little tea holder. So let's go ahead and get started on our tutorial. So we're going to start out, we need to have the teapot folded die set. And these are the two dies that you're going to need from that set. So I've already done some die cutting. I have a piece of spearmint cardstock, and right now we're just focused on the front of this teapot. So we have the spearmint cardstock cut out of the large shadow layer. So that's what you see here. Then I took the layering die, which is this one, and I die cut some other pieces. So I have some pattern paper that you can see was cut out of this piece here. So you have the lid and you have the whole center. And that pattern paper is from the Joyful paper pad. In case you have that, I believe this is currently, at the time of filming, it's sold out. I'm not sure if any will come back in stock, but if some of you have that in your collection, this is the paper that I'm using. And if you don't have that, you can use any other papers will do. There's so many other beautiful pattern papers out there that you can use for your teapot. So that's for the center. And then for the handles, I just cut out some strawberry cardstock. So I have this part, the spout, and then the handle, I have the strawberry cardstock cut out. Now, when you're die cutting these, I like to use my scraps. So if I had a scrap piece of paper, I would just find an empty spot on it and I would put my die over top of it and die cut that out. I wouldn't die cut the whole thing. Now, if you die cut the whole sheet of paper, obviously this paper won't fit to die cut the whole thing, but if you did die cut the whole sheet of paper, you can save the pieces that you're not using, stash them away for the next teapot that you do. But otherwise, you can just find empty spots on some scrap paper to die cut those pieces that you need. Okay, so that's just a little tidbit there. So here is going to be that layering piece is going to go on just like this. And then I also die cut 2 scalloped circles. So I have these scalloped circle dies. These are also from the Stamps of Life. And if I didn't mention, the Teapot Folded is also from the Stamps of Life. So I have strawberry cardstock, and then I have the spearmint cardstock. And then from the Extras for Snow Globe set, I have this cute little gingerbread man with the layering piece and the shadow layer, and these are cut out of the Ginger Snap cardstock. I just love this little guy. He's so stinking cute. And there's also a little girl gingerbread in that set. And then in the Gingerbread House folded die set, and I've been using this die a whole bunch because I love all of the little candy pieces that are in that gingerbread folded die set. And this is to make a peppermint. So I've die cut some of those a few times here. So I die cut 2 pieces of the white cardstock, which will give me my base. Actually, I have 3 of them because I'm going to do 3 peppermints. And then I die cut again out of the spearmint. There's going to be 2 spearmint and then 1 strawberry. So I'm going to go ahead and start inking up some of these edges. I think I'm going to start, since I have my Ginger Snap ink, and I'm going to go ahead and just put some Ginger Snap ink along the edges of this cute little guy here. Now, I also die cut him out of some spearmint cardstock because I will need to put some buttons on him and I will be able to fill those in. And you'll also need to die cut him out of some licorice, which is the black cardstock for the eyes, or if you have the black 3D ink, you can just poke, you squeeze some of that ink into the eyes and use that for the dimension for the eyes. You can also do that for the buttons if you had other colors. All right, so I'm also going to take my strawberry ink and I just want to add some color to the edges of the teapot. I always like to add color to the edges. It just adds a little bit more dimension to the project. So we're going to do that to the bottom part, to the top part, the lid. And we are going to put some on the handle and on the spout. All right, so let's start gluing this together. So I'm going to start by adhering this piece, this large piece. Now at the bottom of this teapot, there's a little piece that is kind of cut away from the rest of it. Make sure you get glue on the bottom of that piece so that it does not tear off. All right, so there's the shape of my teapot. Isn't that adorable? You can use this as a die cut on a card or in a scrapbook if you wanted to. This will also make an A2 size card. So if you take your shadow layer and you fold your cardstock in half. So just as an example, if I had a piece of cardstock, I fold it in half, take my shadow layer, place my fold in the cardstock immediately to the right of the die opening, run that through my die cut machine. This would give me an actual card base that I can layer this directly on. But I'm not going to show you that today because that's not what this project is, but that's another idea that you can use with this teapot folded. All right, so let's go ahead and, well, I guess we can go ahead and glue this little gingerbread guy. So we'll put glue on the back of him and attach him, and then we will grab those buttons that I die cut and add those to the center. Adding that Ginger Snap ink around the edges of this little guy just makes him look a little toasty, like he just came out of the oven, and I love that. So I'm just gonna put a little dab of glue right in the center of where one of those buttons goes. pick up my button that I die cut out, pop it right in there, and I just die cut these out of the spearmint cardstock. And you can do the red, you can do any color you want. Okay, so there are my buttons. And then I die cut my licorice cardstock, and these are so tiny. So if you have that 3-dimensional ink, I suggest using that. I have not received mine yet. I did order some, but unfortunately I have to use cardstock on this. All right, so there they are, and that glue will dry clear. So I know I could see that whiteness of the glue seeping through, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it because it's gonna dry clear. Next, I like to take a white gel pen and just kind of go over these lines that are in the gingerbread man, just to make it look like there is frosting on him. And I'm also gonna go over his mouth. Isn't that adorable? And I think I'm also gonna go just around his body so that you can actually distinguish him from the shadow layer. And that just helps to better, I should say, it helps to better distinguish him from the shadow layer because they are the same, because the shadow layer is the same color as the actual gingerbread man. So look how cute this little guy is. So now we're gonna put our peppermints together, and I'm just going to add some glue to this top piece that is in the strawberry cardstock, and I'm going to layer that directly on the flat back white cardstock piece. And I'm gonna do the same for the 2 spearmint peppermints. Now those white pieces also came with centers. So if you wanted to add the white center back in, you could totally do that, or you can just leave it, you know, without it. It's really not gonna matter whether you have it in or not because you can see the white through the back anyway, but if you wanted to add it back in, you can do so. Now I want to show you another option with these peppermints. If you don't have the die set to make the peppermints, you can cut them out if you have a paper pad that has peppermints on it. So if you happen to have this collection, there is a peppermint sheet. You can just cut these out and you can use them in the same instance as we're going to be using them on this card with the die cuts. So now we're gonna do a sentiment, and I'm gonna take my scalloped circle in the spearmint, and I'm using the Trees for Christmas stamps, and I'm gonna be using the Merry Christmas piece. It's a circle stamp, and I think it's really, really pretty. It has everything that you see here, the word Merry Christmas at the top, the word peace in the middle, and all these fun dots. And I'm going to do some heat embossing, so I'm gonna be using my Versamark ink. First, I'm going to prep my surface with my powder tool. This is just so that the embossing powder does not stay where it's not supposed to. So prep your surface with powder and then ink up your stamp with the Versamark ink. Stamp that down. Press that down really well. And then you need some white, I'm using a white embossing powder. You can use any color you choose. Just sprinkle that on to make sure it's completely covered. Okay, and then just tap off any extra embossing powder. And if any fell onto your coffee filter, just put it back in your container. And then we're going to heat set that. So you'll need a heat tool. And there is our sentiment. Isn't that pretty? Just love that. So now we're going to adhere the green scallop to the top of the red scallop. And there's our sentiment. Isn't that pretty? I love that stamp. I think that's so pretty. And it really stands out with that white embossing powder. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, so that's gonna go right in the center of our teapot. And then these little peppermints we're gonna put on the handle. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Isn't that adorable? So let's just glue these down, and we're gonna go every other one. So we're gonna start with the spearmint, and then we're going to go with the strawberry, and then we'll do the other spearmint. I was just kind of measuring to make sure I have them approximately equal distance. Isn't that cute? I love that. And then our little gingerbread guy is gonna go right over here on the side. I am gonna put some double-sided adhesive foam on him just to make him pop up. So I'm gonna cut this down just a tiny bit. And then we'll peel that back and add him to the front of this teapot. Okay, and I kind of put him off to the side and notice that some of this foam is extending beyond. So I'm just going to cut that off just so that, and then just kind of tuck that underneath with my finger. And that will be perfectly fine. And isn't that adorable? Next, you're gonna take your large shadow die and die cut another piece of the spearmint cardstock. And these pieces are going to be layered on top of each other. Now, you are not going to put glue on the whole inside. You're only going to put glue on the handle and on the spout. And you're gonna put glue along the bottom, okay? So handle, bottom, spout, because you need to leave an opening here for your tea to go in. Make sure you're using a strong glue. Okay, so I'm gonna put some here along the bottom. Okay, and I'm also gonna put some glue right here. And then just leave this top part open because that tea bag is going to fit right inside of there. So then just put this on top. Okay, so I'm gonna let that sit and have some time to dry, and then we'll put the tea bag and finish this off. All right, so once that dries, you're gonna need to get your hand in here and kind of just loosen up the inside, because this cardstock, mine in any way, is very thick. You can even stick a bone folder in here if that helps. But just kind of loosen this up so that you can have some room in here to stick something in. And then once you have the room, you can stick your tea bag right inside. And then I also picked up these Be My Honey granulated honey packets. You can even slide one of those right in the back as well. So they have tea and honey to go along with that. And these would make for such cute little gifts. So you can give these to your coworkers if you just need a quick gift to give anybody, maybe a teacher or whoever in your life. You can make these little teapots if they don't drink coffee. Because I did show you in a previous video how to use the coffee cup, fold it to make a card with a gift card. So if the person in your life does not like coffee, you can give them tea. I also previously showed you how to use the mug, fold it for a little hot chocolate packet. So there's some hot chocolate and a candy cane. So if they don't like hot chocolate, you have tea. So again, here are different options, and I will link these videos for these two projects down below in case you missed out on those. So 3 different ways using your fold-it dies as gift ideas.